I had no intention of writing tonight. Not after the 5 p.m. deadline came and went in silence yesterday. Not while search crews are still moving through the Catalina foothills this morning, sweeping every arroyo and dry wash for the 9th straight day. Not while the FBI continues analyzing those Bitcoin ransom messages that keep arriving like recurring nightmares. And certainly not with Savannah Guthrie's voice still reverberating from that second video, calm, steady, unmistakable. "We will pay," a phrase that has left millions suspended in anxious anticipation. But then the phone rang. It was 11:32 a.m. Eastern on Monday, February 10th, 2026. The call came from a trusted source I've known since my earliest years covering network news, someone who has shared war rooms, late-night editing bays, and green rooms with Lester Holt for more than 20 years. The message was simple. Lester spoke this morning privately, and it was about Savannah and Nancy. "You need to hear it. I dropped everything. What follows is not rumor, not conjecture, not a dramatized leak. It is a careful recounting of what Lester Holt, now 66, the steady presence of NBC Nightly News, shared in an off-the-record conversation with 5 people in a quiet conference room at 30 Rockefeller Plaza. No phones were allowed. No notes were taken. No public relations handlers or attorneys were present. Just Lester, looking more fatigued than anyone in that room had seen him in years, finally speaking about something he has carried quietly for a long time. And what he said cuts directly to the heart of how Savannah is navigating this nightmare. Lester began cautiously, almost weighing each word before releasing it. Those present said it felt as though he was testing the air, deciding whether the truth could safely exist outside his own mind. He reflected on decades of anchoring through tragedy, pandemics, elections, wars, national grief. He has interviewed devastated families, sat with parents who lost children, and delivered news that altered lives in a single sentence. Yet watching Savannah over the past 9 days, he said, feels different. This time it is personal. And the reason, he explained, is something most people have never fully understood: the invisible bond that has always tied Savannah to her mother, Nancy. A bond that is simultaneously sustaining her and tearing at her. Rather than jump straight into stories, Lester provided context, the kind of measured framing that has defined his career. Savannah, he said, did not simply inherit ambition from Nancy. She absorbed a blueprint, a philosophy of survival built on control, discipline, and emotional restraint. In that household, emotion was not indulgence, it was liability. Control meant safety. Strength was mandatory. After Nancy lost her husband unexpectedly, she did not collapse. She did not ask for help. She raised 3 children with unwavering precision. And as the eldest, Savannah absorbed the brunt of that education. Lester recalled noticing this pattern years ago when Savannah was still climbing within NBC, not yet a co-anchor. During a high-stakes election cycle, she received a call regarding a health scare involving her mother. She stepped out briefly, returned 5 minutes later composed and smiling. When Lester quietly asked if she was all right, she responded, "Mom would tell me to focus on the job, so I'm focusing." No elaboration, no emotional unpacking, just forward motion. That, Lester said, wasn't resilience. It was reflex. Nancy had not raised a daughter who processes pain publicly. She raised a daughter who compartmentalizes it, who labels it, files it away, and continues working. And now, as Nancy remains missing, Savannah is applying that same method. The terror, the fury, the endless what-ifs, all carefully stored away while the mission continues: bring her mother home. Lester walked through the timeline of the past 9 days, highlighting details that now seem revelatory. February 1st, the empty house, blood on the porch, forced entry. Savannah says nothing publicly. Law enforcement handles briefings. February 2nd, the FBI joins. Still silence. February 3rd, ransom messages and Bitcoin demands dominate headlines. Still nothing from her. Only on February 4th does she release the first video. Why the delay? Because Nancy taught her never to react impulsively. Gather facts. Construct your case. Speak when you are prepared to be heard, not when you are overwhelmed by emotion. Lester described the first video as structured like a broadcast segment: gratitude to supporters, description of Nancy's character, acknowledgement of the ransom reports, and finally the plea. Introduction, context, call to action. That, he said, is training. Then came the February 7th video, the moment that struck him most deeply. We will pay. Delivered clearly, deliberately, without wavering. Not a cry of desperation, not frantic begging. A statement, controlled and intentional. Lester has covered enough hostage crises to recognize what is typical. Tears are typical. Desperation is typical. Savannah's composure was not. In his mind, he explained, she's still presenting her case to Nancy. See, I'm handling it. I'm strong. I'm in control. When someone asked whether Nancy would truly expect such composure in a moment like this, Lester responded slowly. Perhaps not consciously, but Nancy raised a daughter who believes she must be unbreakable to be worthy. He shared a personal memory from 2018 when Savannah was navigating a painful public divorce. After a late work night, she told him she had informed her mother the divorce was final. Nancy reportedly told her, "You're better than this. You move forward. You don't dwell." Savannah smiled as she repeated it, as though those words were oxygen. That approval, Lester suggested, is what she is still seeking now. He pointed out how she parents her own children differently, more openly, more forgivingly. He now views that as quiet rebellion, giving them emotional space she did not have. Yet in this crisis, those original rules dominate again. Do not crack. Do not beg. Fix it. Lester reflected on the silence following the past deadline. No new note, no update, no public comment from Savannah. Viewers grow restless. But for her, waiting is discipline. Waiting is respect. Waiting is protocol. Nancy's voice still guiding her. Gather facts first. He acknowledged the cost. The public sees composure and labels it strength. They do not see the internal toll. The child who believes love is conditional, earned through performance. Every day without Nancy becomes, in her mind, a point lost on an invisible scorecard. If this stretches longer, Lester warned, she will not break publicly. She will thank supporters. She will return to anchor when necessary. But internally, she may carry an unbearable scar, the belief that she failed to fix it. He emphasized he was not psychoanalyzing her for spectacle. He was explaining the human layer behind the poise. He described moments during the pandemic when she admitted exhaustion. Nancy's response, tired is a choice. Choose to keep going. Savannah laughed when recounting it. That same laugh, Lester said, echoes now. Strength was never optional. Weakness was never permitted. He closed with something that felt like both hope and plea. If Nancy comes home, and he insisted they must believe she will, mother and daughter will need more than reunion.